Ladies and gentlemen, Kumail Nanjiani! Thank you. How's it going, Austin? I used to live in New York, in Brooklyn. Oh, really? That was not my reaction. I was fucking terrified. Scariest place I've ever been in. And I grew up in fucking Pakistan. Really? Woos for Pakistan? All right. That's new. Pakistan's in the house. Usually we try and keep a low prof. I'm a huge asshole. But what the thing about Brooklyn was, because it wasn't just violent scary, it was like weird, like unpredictable scary. Like the week I moved there, I swear, I left my house, there was a guy on my street, in front of it, just a guy on my street, catching pigeons with his bare hands and stuffing them into his pockets. Like some sort of horrible reverse magician. And I was the only one staring at him. Rest of Brooklyn is just walking by, like, there's old Pigeon Pockets. Doing what he do. That's his jam. You guys know that thing where they try and sneak in like creepy stuff, dark stuff into kids' movies? You know what I'm talking about? Like they try and like sneak in grown-up stuff. Like in Lion King, they say in the sandstorm you can read the word sex. Yeah? Or like in Wizard of Oz, they say in the corner you can see somebody hanging. I wish sometimes it would happen the other way around. You know, like it would be like, did you guys see that movie Hostel? You know that scene where they cut the guy's Achilles tendon and he's bleeding everywhere and he can't walk? In the corner, you can see a kid tasting cotton candy for the first time. It is so beautiful, you guys. Watch it every day. You guys are nice. I'll tell you a personal story. I'll tell you about the first time I remember crying, okay? Why are you laughing already? You just pictured a little Pakistani boy crying, and that was humorous to you. We're not at the, all right. I was, first time I remember crying, I was 5 years old. It's not the first time I cried. That would have been fucking terrifying for my parents. If I hadn't cried till I was 5. People would ask my parents, like, oh, how's Kumail? Oh, he's great. He's 4. He hasn't cried yet. Pretty sure he can't feel sadness. That's some serial killer shit, right? He just sits there like, where is the cat? Bring me the cat. First memory of crying, I was watching Ugly Duckling. Oh, yeah. All these pretty ducklings are so mean to this one ugly duck. And I felt like an ugly duckling as a kid, you know? I remember just like bawling, like just crying, tears down my face, just like hiccuping from crying. Went to my mom for comfort, and to make me feel better, my mom didn't say, you know, beauty on the outside does not matter, Kumail. It's beauty on the inside that makes a person. She didn't say that. To make me feel better, my mom was like, ducks can't talk. Also, these ducks don't even exist. Look at that. Someone clearly just drew that, Kumail. Stop crying. They're not real. Awful. Wait, handle that. But my parents, like, they would let me watch the weirdest stuff. Like when I was 8, I swear, I was 8, I went to the video store with my dad, and he let me rent The Elephant Man. I thought it was a superhero movie. You know, like Batman, Iron Man, Elephant Man. He has the strength of 20 men. No, he doesn't. He has the sadness of 20 men. Do you guys know that movie? The guy with the fucking face? And they're trying to get the girl to kiss him just to fuck with him, and he's like, I'm not an animal. Devastating. I was 8. That movie took something from me. Like, I'm sure I lost the ability to smell rain during that movie. I turned to my mom and I was like, thank God movies are fake, huh? And she's like, actually, no, this one is real. That is an actual disease anybody could get at any time. Good night. I had other like scary stuff happen. Like this happened. I was 10. My brother was 6. You know how your parents make you do shit you don't want to do. My dad's friend's kid was having a birthday, and we did not want to go. This kid was annoying. He was a bully. We didn't want to go. And my dad's like, "Bad news! You have to go." And we're like, that's as far as we got. So we have to go. So we get there to this birthday, and the birthday's in Pakistan. And I mean, we're all in Pakistan. I don't know why I said it like that. That would have been horrible if we weren't. And he was like, bad news number 2, the birthday's in Pakistan. Here's your ticket there. Make your own way back. See you again, never. Never see you again. So we get to this birthday, and for some reason, on the stereo, they're playing a knockoff Pakistani version of the birthday song. And the song goes exactly like this, I swear. The song goes, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Those are the only lyrics. Over and over. That's it. And you think it's a horrible duet, you know, with 2 people? One guy being like, happy birthday, oh, thank you very much. But it's one voice. So it's one crazy guy alone in a room, wishing himself a happy birthday into a mirror, and then thanking himself as if he's surprised every time. Happy birthday, thank you very much. I'm glad someone remembered. Let's go kill everybody. Now okay, most birthdays in Pakistan, a monkey shows up. All right. The fact that you just accepted that is racist. But it also does happen. But the fact that it made sense to you, the fact that you guys were like, oh yeah, in Pakistan, they have monkeys at their birthdays. That's how they do things. Racist. You guys are accurate racists. But this is true. Most birthdays in Pakistan, the entertainment is that a monkey shows up with like his trainer guy. Yeah, he doesn't just like show up on he doesn't just drive over. We have laws. Monkey shows up with his trainer guy, and they put on a little show. And it is a fucking great show, you guys. It is such a good show. The monkey has like a little monkey bike that he monkey rides. Just like a little monkey, his butt wiggles, because he's like, I have to keep the tail out of the spokes. It has learned through experience. Like a little monkey on a bike. He has like a little hat that he wears. The monkey has a hat that he wears, and he walks around like a proper gentleman. Like he walks around like that. Kicks his legs out. Just a hat? Yeah. And if he sees a woman, he's like, oh, hello, lady. He recognizes women, just like, no, hello. Which I'm sure he was taught to do through a lot of violence. You can't just convince a monkey to walk like that. You have to hit it. If it walks any other way, and then it knows this is how I must walk so that the pain doesn't come. Great show. Worth all the monkey torture. And I've seen the show many times, you know, many different... Yeah, it's not just one awesome monkey. This is what we're good at, you know? Many shows, many different monkeys, but for some reason, the monkey's name was always Aloo Master, which translates to Master of Potatoes, which is not like a Pakistani saying. We're not going around calling each other that, like, dude, you are such a master of potatoes. This guy's a player, hide the women. I'm kidding. Drinks on you. We don't have drinks. But we're at this birthday and no monkey shows up. And we're all complaining, what kind of birthday is this? There's not even a monkey? We've all thought that, right? What kind of birthday is this? Not even a monkey? Happy birthday, thank you very much. Happy birthday, thank you very much. Playing over and over, burrowing into our skulls. Happy birthday, thank you very much. Happy birthday. And then suddenly the music stops. And this guy shows up. And in one hand, he's got a sack. And he pulls out a cobra. In the other hand, he's got a cage. And he pulls out a mongoose, which is like a giant ferret. And he says, these two are going to fight. For you. And we're like, fuck yes, they are! Yes, they are! This is the best birthday of all time. We all get in a circle. Who's gonna win? The snake, the mongoose? Who cares? We win. High five. We get in a circle. By the way, there is no fence between us and the combatants. So whatever wins is coming for us next. We don't even consider that. To us, it's like Street Fighter, you know? He's gonna Hadouken the one guy, we go 3 rounds, we eat cake, what a day. We get in a circle, we're all cheering at the top of our lungs. One hand, birthday cake, one hand in the air, cheering. Top of our lungs. Imagine little Pakistani kids losing their minds. The fight starts. Like 40 seconds in, it becomes very clear that this cobra is gonna lose. The fight lasts 15 minutes as parts of the snake are ripped off by the mongoose's teeth. Yeah, in the beginning we're all cheering. The last 10 minutes, everybody just watches completely silently. The snake is ripped to shreds. There's a 2-year-old kid watching and he's not even crying. I bet he didn't cry for a year after that. There's blood everywhere. Nobody's making eye contact. I'm like, Alu Master would never allow this to happen. Even the grown-ups are walking around like, we've made a huge mistake. After 15 of the longest minutes of my life, just like the rope went from the hat is like cutting into our throats, we're just like, watch. 15 of the longest minutes of my life, the mongoose rips the snake's whole head off. Yeah, which I'm like, if you had that move, that should have been move number 1. Why are you taking so long? Our souls are shrinking. Rips the snake's whole head off. And that's when the snake stops fighting back. And it lays there completely still, headless, covered in blood. And I remember for the first time in my life, I remember thinking, this guy just had his birthday. He's getting older. The snake just died. Someday I'm gonna die. Worst fucking birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. I live in California and I moved to a new house, and the woman who used to live in the house I moved into had 2 indoor cats, like 2 pet cats that just stayed inside. And when she moved, she just left the cats outside and just moved away. Yeah, and one of the cats went feral right away. Like a little too quickly, you know? Like it could not wait. It was like, this is where I belong, and just fucking ran off. Like a kid on a school trip who just takes all his clothes off, runs into the forest, fuck everything! Tomorrow's not coming! Gone. We see her far away on rooftops, silhouetted against the night sky, murder in her mouth. Lost cause. The other cat is this really sweet and friendly male cat, and he's just trying to get back into the house. Yeah, and he's really confused. He looks at us like, no, you don't understand. I live here. Who are you fucking people? But after a couple weeks, he starts trying like different tactics, you know? Like sometimes he'll hide behind a car, and we open the door, he'll like try to like run right by us. Some days he'll act like real nonchalant, like thanks for getting the door for me. One time he showed up in like a pizza guy outfit. We're like, why would we let the pizza guy into the house? Tiny brains. He was like meow-minnows. He said meow-minnows. No pants, just a shirt. Tiny pizza? To us, just a cheese cookie, you know? 30 meow-nets or less, that's what he said! So we had him put down. I like the people that groaned. What point did you believe that story tell? Meow-minnows made sense? Austin? I'll tell you another more about myself. I was raised Muslim. Oh, really? That has never happened before. I was raised Muslim. Woo! All right. We're not all doing that? Just me? Woo! My shoe hurt. Woo! Who did woo? Who was it? Oh. What, are you from Pakistan? We would have fucking noticed you. Oh, your friend is. Hi, you're from Pakistan? What's your name? Who are... Story checks out. That is a deep OG name. That's not... Apu, I'm an asshole. No. Hur, it means angel. And I'm sure with that name here, you get called something else. I was raised like very religious Muslim. We were told, this is true, when we were little kids, we were told that staring at a woman with a lustful gaze was the same sin as stabbing the prophet's nephew in the back while he's praying. Look at a girl, stab the prophet's nephew in the back while he's praying. Equal. So I was terrified of women, you know? And then I was around 10, I remember. Do you guys remember that Cindy Crawford Diet Pepsi commercial where she's wearing the tight white tank top and those hip-hugging jeans? And she's in the convertible, her hair in the breeze. Then she gets out and she walks over to the vending machine and she puts in the quarter. She picks her drink. Then she pops the tab. And she puts the cylinder to her lips. I remember thinking, I am stabbing the fuck out of the prophet's nephew right now. At that age, though, I didn't know what sex was. Like, I would not even know what I would do if I was in a room alone with Cindy, just like squeeze her mole, you know? Like, that sounds awesome today, actually. But then all that innocence disappears when my cousin gives me a videotape. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's what I would do to her. It's a porn. I don't know if you guys... And it was too early for me to see porn. Like, my body wasn't ready. I put it in. I watched it for 30 seconds. I pulled it out. I had a fever for 3 days. I promised God I would never watch it again. And then a couple weeks later, I got curious. I was like, well, I didn't really give it a chance, did I? What is the motivation of these characters? And then I put it back in, and then you couldn't fucking stop me. Which is where I still am today. All right, here's a weird side note to that story. We've known each other. It gets weird for a little bit. So we're okay with that? Getting weird for a second? All right. So it's a regular porn, you know, beginning to end, men, women. You know what a porn is. But the preview before it, there's a 2-minute preview for a different porn before it. And that, I don't know how else to say it, but it's for a preview for a porn where the people defecate on each other. Security, can we, there's a monster in the room. Other than you, everybody was very awkward. And then you yelled, and then everybody was even more awkward. Because like I was 10, you know. It was too early for me to see porn, but it was definitely way too early for me to realize that people like her existed, you know? My favorite part, though, is that it's a regular porn, but that's the preview. Like, they're like, do you like sex? Well, then you might like shitting on people. Do you like driving a car? Well, then maybe you want to drown in a submarine that's on fire. But I saw it so early that now I think about it a lot. Not in like a sexual way, but I think some synapse in my brain formed, and now it's just a reference that comes up in my life a lot. Like I'll see somebody run a red light, and I'll be like, he ran a red light, but what do I know? Sometimes people shit on each other. With red towels in the background. They had red towels. Because they're in the bathroom, even though they're not using any of the facilities. They're still in the bath, like, we're still a fucking civilization. We're not horrific beasts. But back to the regular porn. I'm sorry, I know it's very disappointing. Regular porn, I would watch it whenever my parents were out of the house. You know, it was go time, followed each time by the inevitable guilt-ridden shower. But you can't shampoo away sin, which is what I thought it was. But this happens for 3 months. Whenever my parents were out of the house, I would watch it, feel awful. And okay, so this was a VHS tape. This was in Pakistan, which is a third world country. And sometimes in Pakistan, the electricity goes. And when the electricity goes, you don't know if it's gone for 5 minutes or if it's gone for 5 days. One day I'm at home, my mom's out for an errand. I'm almost done, but not quite. The electricity goes. And I am fucked. Because I can't get the tape out of the VCR. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to run away. I'm gonna pack my bags and walk the earth. Which sucks, because I love my parents, and I'm 12 years old. What am I gonna do for money? Just like go town to town? Any work needs doing? I can beat Mario and draw a Ninja Turtle. That's my whole skill set. I remember specifically thinking I should bring my dad's suit with me. That way I can grow into it and then go on job interviews. So my whole plan is to ride out the next 10 years of my life on the streets of Karachi, which CNN once dubbed the City of Terror. That is true. BBC was much kinder. They called it a City of Nightmares, which at least implies that we have dreams, you know? And then I'm like, all right, that's ridiculous. I can't do that. So I get this idea. Brilliant idea. I'm gonna get my dad's toolkit. I'm gonna open up the VCR and just get the tape out, right? So I open it, I lift the cover off, and the tape is buried under layers and layers. I don't know what I was expecting. Like I'd just be able to get the tape right out. There'll be like a little like snowman. Like, here's the tape you wanted. Like, thank you, this has been wonderful. Here's your hat. The tape is, there's no snowman. The tape, layers and layers of parts, none bigger than that. But I'm like, I have to get at the tape. So I just start unscrewing. I start unscrewing tiny parts, just tossing them over my shoulder. So I'm like, I'll be able to put this back together. It's not like engineers made this thing, which is, turns out, exactly who was making this. So I get all the parts out, I get to the tape, just the panicked confidence of a 10-year-old, you know? I get to the tape, I rip it out, and then I look behind me, and the entire floor is covered in like tiny gadgets and gizmos and dude, all the same color. I have no idea how they go back in, but I'm like, I have to get everything back in. So I start putting stuff back in, I'm doing the best I can do. I'm like, it's hard, it's like a satanic jigsaw puzzle in 3D, you know? I'm sweating into the VCR, which is like only the second worst thing that's happened to it that day. Wait, are you guys thinking I'm fucking the VCR? That's not happening. I feel like that was the vibe I got from you. I'm not an idiot. I'm not just like watching the screen and this is how I do it, right? Just fuck the VCR while I watch the screen? No. Come on. I'm not an idiot. I finally get all the parts back in. I put the cover back on. I screw it back on. Success. I did it. And then I look behind me, and there are two little parts just sitting there. I have no idea where they go. So I go and I hide them in my room, because in my head, I think if my dad sees them, he's going to know exactly what happened. He's going to be like, isn't that the transmogrifier for the VCR? And that's the flux capacitor. You've been watching porn. And the electricity comes back, I swear, before my mom gets home. And the VCR works, but it's never quite the same. It's got this look in its eyes like it's been through a war, you know? Like, you haven't seen the things I've seen. The fast forward doesn't always work. It makes this weird clicking sound all the time. You have to turn the TV up so you don't hear the clicking. A couple weeks later, my mom's like, I'm gonna go to get it fixed. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'll take you to get it fixed. Mom, don't, just stay home. I'll take you to get it fixed. So I go, and I go to the video store, and I give it to the guy. I put it on the counter, and he plugs it in, and it starts making that clicking sound. And it's a sound he's heard before. And he looks at me, and he leans in, and he says, next time you get a tape stuck in there, bring it to me. I won't tell your parents. I thought of all the clicking sounds in all the houses where Pakistani boys had ripped tapes out of VCRs. He knew exactly what had happened. There was no lying to this man. The other weird postscript to that story is when I got to be like 14, I got so... You know how you could like hook up two VCRs and copy stuff over? I started copying my favorite porn scenes onto the middle of other kids' movies I owned. Yeah, I was making boner jams at 14. Like an utter scumbag. Ugh. And then I would lend these videos to my friends. I was their porn supplier. Yeah, like a scumbag. Because it was awesome for them. It was in the middle of other movies. They didn't even have to like sneak them into the house. They were just like, it's just Jurassic Park, Mom. And then you just go, well, you know, Act 2 is awesome. But here's the weird, okay, here's the best thing I did. This is the culmination of that story. Okay, so you guys remember the movie Mask? I don't mean Jim Carrey with the green face. I mean like Cher with the kid with the big face, you know? I gave my friend the movie Mask with porn in the middle. Let me rephrase that. I gave him the movie Mask and told him there was porn in the middle. But there was no porn, it was a prank. So he became the first guy in history to watch the entirety of Mask with an erection. No porn, just a disfigured kid touching lives and slowly dying. At probably the same rate that his boner was deflating. He called me afterwards and he was like, I'm not even angry, that was great. Another weird postscript to that story is that I left Pakistan, and then after I left, my mom sold all my VHSs. So there's some little kid watching Dick Tracy, like, this movie makes me want to pee really bad. It's just biology, Austin. You guys into video games at all? Yeah, oh my God. I play Call of Duty. You know, my issue with Call of Duty, those games, is that they're based on like real wars, like World War II and shit, which feels weird to me because like real people died, and now I have to kill them all over again. So I have a moral problem. I'm like, boycott those games. But the new one came out and it looked so good. I was like, all right, I'll try it. Then I found out that one of the levels in the new Call of Duty is called Karachi. Yep, the city I grew up in. They're basically like, your hometown is now a battlefield. How many points can you get, Kumail? But even with that, I was able to convince myself, you know? Like, I was like, I would have an advantage over everybody. I would know all the places. I would be like, hey, we can hide in there, guys. I used to rent movies at this place. Mr. Siddiqui will give us shelter. He once picked my VCR for free. He didn't judge. So I was gonna go get it again. Then I found out, okay, so the language you speak in Pakistan is Urdu. That's the name of the language you speak, Urdu. But all the street signs in Karachi and Call of Duty are in Arabic. Yeah, it's a completely different language. And I know it does not seem like a big deal. But this game took 3 years to make. If you look at it, the graphics are perfect. You can see individual hair on people's heads. When they run, they sweat. When they run, their shoelaces bounce. All they had to do was Google Pakistan language. They were literally like, what language do they speak in Pakistan? I don't care. I can't get his sideburns even. But it was on sale and I bought it. It's so good! Totally worth selling out my people for. I'll tell you a pet peeve of mine. So I just bought a new color printer, right? New color printer. And it has, you don't, people are wooing for that. You guys are too nice. But I buy this color printer, so it has, you know, it has the one black ink cartridge, and then it has the 3 colored ink cartridges, right? And it ran out of just one of the 3 colors, and it stopped printing even the black, even though I have enough black ink, it wouldn't print just black. That's fucking bullshit, right? I was so angry, I dealt with it in the most direct way I could think of. I tweeted about it, which is just one step above. If I'd just gone to my balcony and been like, my printer won't print. All right. Should be working pretty soon now. The problem is handled. But I was so angry, I'm yelling at the printer, which is not a living thing. I'm literally like, you have enough black ink. It was just out of cyan. Which begs the question, how the fuck did I even run out of cyan? I'm not going to like cyanlovers.com and just printing the background. Plus, how the fuck does cyan get to be one of the 3 printer colors? Who had ever heard of cyan before? Now it's one of the 3 printer, that's a pretty big get for the cyan PR people, you know? Cyan's agents must have called him like, are you sitting down, Cyan? We have amazing news. You're going to be one of the 3 printer colors. You're going to be working with magenta and yellow. Yellow! Yellow's been around forever. Yellow's a fucking legend. I loved Yellow's work on bananas and egg yolks and cowardice. This is the last story I'll tell. I don't know why I like horror movies and stuff, because in real life I'm a coward. Like, I'm not good in real life scary situations. I'll give you an example. A few years ago I lived in Chicago. And yeah, it is pretty fancy. I like the guy that wooed was like, woo! Like you had that, like, what am I doing? Sir, you did it. There's no strings going up to the ceiling. We're like, whoa, come on! What the fuck? Making me look like an asshole. I look up, there's Julie Andrews. That is a Sound of Music reference. I lived in Chicago, and I had 3 roommates, me, a guy, 2 girls. This is about scary shit. And we rented the whole house. So we have the basement, the regular floor, the ground floor, and then the attic. And the attic is empty, it's unfinished, nobody's up there, nobody ever goes up there. It's empty, you know? One of my roommates, Katie, does not have a job. Whenever we come home from work, Katie's like, whenever you guys leave the house, I can hear someone walking around our attic. Yeah. And we go, shut the fuck up, get a job. Lies don't pay the rent. For weeks she says this, we dismiss her. One day I'm at home, and Katie comes into my room, and she's like, hey, come here right now, come into my room. I go into Katie's room, and I hear someone walking around my attic, like deliberate human scary hobo footsteps. And I immediately start freaking out, like immediately at 100, you know? Just freaking out, and we start doing that yelling, whispering thing, you know, like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then I'm like, if there is somebody up there, he's gonna know we're in the house, but we're whispering, he's gonna know we're onto him. He's gonna come down and kill us all. So we decide to have like parallel conversations, like a fake decoy conversation, just to throw him off, you know? Like we're like, what are we gonna do? We should bake a cake. I am freaking out right now. I like chocolate. So if there is somebody there, all he hears is silence broken by chocolate cake! Just like panicked cries of chocolate cake! What could be more suspicious? He's gonna murder all of us. So I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. I'm a beta male. We're all betas. This is a house of betas, you know? So we have one friend, he's an alpha male. His name's Joey. He lives in Alaska. He hunts bear, and then he makes jerky out of it. Alpha as fuck. So we call Joey, and Joey goes, go up there and check. Yeah, which hadn't even occurred to us. Our entire strategy was to talk about fake cake until the lease ran out. And then just move, you know? Never speak of this again. Somebody has to go up there and check, and we nominate me, because fuck everything at this point. So I have to go up and check, and I'm so scared. And it's the only way up the attic, so the roof is like 12 feet high. The only way up to the attic, there's a little like door. We need a step ladder to get up there. House of Betas, we don't have a step ladder. So I go into my room, and I push a chest of drawers from my room under there. Like I'm gonna climb over it and get up there. And then my roommates give me a flashlight. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this if there is somebody there? So then they also hand me a butcher knife. Because if somebody's there, I'm just going to murder them. It's gonna be like, chocolate cake! Stab, 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 slit. Guys, there was somebody there, but I've killed him. I'm gonna go take a shower and pack my bags. Give me 30 minutes before you call the police. And then I spend the rest of my life riding the rails and using payphones. Whenever I try and sleep, I see the light leave a hobo's face, you know? You don't forget that. Somebody goes living to dead by your hand. And then I'm like, if there is somebody up there, he's up there, he's just hanging out, regular floor for him. And then a thing opens and just my head pops up. Very vulnerable position for me. He's just going to whack-a-mole me on the head with a baseball bat. And I'm gonna die. This is how I die. So my roommates are like, we have to find you a helmet. House of Vedas, we don't have a helmet. So I go into the kitchen and I get a cooking pot and I put that on my head. None of this is lies. I put a fucking cooking pot on my head, but it comes down to here, so I can't see anything. So then I get a colander instead, and I put that on my head. Which if somebody baseball bats me on the head with a colander, I'm still going to die. My roommates just have to buy a new colander. Or feel really horrible anytime they make pasta, you know? Isn't this the colander that Kumail died in? It was a very strange sentence to say out loud. Isn't this the colander that Kumail died in? I swear right before I get up there, Katie's friends from out of town show up, and I'm there climbing over a chest of drawers, flashlight in one hand, butcher knife in the other, colander on my head. I look like somebody whose parents couldn't afford a Halloween costume. You're a spaghetti head. He also has a butcher knife. So I get up there, and I am so scared, you guys. It's like I can't see anything. It's super dark. You know, the flashlight is weak. I'm looking at the world through holes big enough to let water through, but not spaghetti. Like... very small. I get up there, shaking. I don't see anything. I don't see anyone. But there's one area around the corner, like behind a corner like that I can't see from where I'm standing. And I'm like, fuck. So I work up my courage. I grip the knife tighter. I put the colander deeper into my head. I walk over, and I see nothing. Never found anything. But right after that, the noises stopped. What the fuck? And I know it's super disappointing that there was nothing there, but if there was somebody there, that would have been the first thing I would have mentioned when I came out. I would have been like, fuck Ugly Duckling, 3 years ago I murdered a hobo. Thank you so much, guys. That's my time. You guys have been so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jackson.